everyone, welcome or welcome back. My name is Dee and this is Dee's Bookish Musings, where I'm sharing my love for reading at my own pace. Thank you so much for tuning in today to another video. So I'm doing a reading vlog. As you can probably tell, I'm starting this off with a nice walk in the park. Do you guys see this? Do you see the sun shining bright? And it is January. It is January, y'all. It feels like a spring day. A nice started a book by Tayari Jones, An American Marriage, finally, y'all, because I got that when it first came out in 2018. I started that. I'm not done with chapter 1 yet. I'm still in chapter 1. I'm just setting up this vlog. So this is just the beginning of the vlog. This will go for maybe 2 more days and we'll see what we get into. Hey y'all, so I'm just getting out of my personal training session, and I'm at the library because I need to pick up a hole before they put it back, and I really want to get to the book that I'm about to pick up. So I'm going to show you the book when I come back. Okay, so the library book that I just picked up is this one right here, Best Offer Wins. I love a good thriller every now and then. I am reading some heavier type of books right now, so I'm going to have some time to read this one, and hopefully I can fit this one in. Okay, so I'm happy that this one came through. It's pretty short, so I should be able to get through this pretty quick. It's less than, it looks like 300 pages. What is he doing? What are you doing? I'm walking up to my car like that. It looks like it's less than 300 pages. This one seems very interesting. It's about a Best Offer Wins, a realtor or a person who's bidding for a house, and she gets outbid maybe from somebody else. So it's darkly satirical, which I love satirical thrillers, and wholly or wildly entertaining, which I love entertaining books. This sounds like this may be a page turner. So it says Marge becomes obsessed with buying the house before it's publicly listed and the masses descend. So this sounds like this is really going to be really good. I'll keep you posted when I read that one, and then I am going to go to Kohl's and take back, what? Girl, these people, and take back this book right here, Baldwin, A Love Story. I bought this book because I am getting into his work this year. I've only read one book, shame on me, okay, because I need to really, I want to read his work, him and Toni Morrison. I want to read their work. I've only read one book by him, and that was like years ago, The Fire Next Time, which was a really good book. I'm due for a reread on that one, but I didn't know it was 800 pages, girl, okay? Like, girl, bye. I know I'm not going to read a 800-page biography. I'm just not. Yeah, I thought it was more like 400 pages. I would be more inclined to read a 400-page book versus 800 pages. No. So what I did was I went and I bought the other book that's out there by Lemming. I think his name is David Lemming or something like that. The only thing with that though is it only comes in paperback, and ideally I like to buy memoirs of people I'm really interested in, and biographies and stuff like that in hardback, but they don't have any hardbacks out there. Okay, the hardback that's out there is like $34 and it's used. So we won't be doing that. I'll just keep the paperback version that I have because I do want to read his, ideally, now I don't know, we'll see. I do want to read his girl, what are you doing? Biography before I read more of his books. So I just, yep. So that's the plan, y'all. That is the plan, and that's what we're going to stick with. I'm gonna go home and run a hot steamy bubble bath. I am going to get in it and I'm going to relax, and I'm gonna read tonight because I do want to finish The Healing, and it's really good, and I'm eager to get to the end.
The next day.
Hey y'all, I am up. Like I always do, I do try to get a little bit of reading in on the days that I'm off. The days that I'm working, I do try to do that too, but not always, right? I am currently reading this book right here, but I am in the middle of 3 books right now. I'm reading this one physically. I started this one on yesterday. If I told you guys, I started this one on yesterday, and I finally got out of chapter 1. Chapter 1 was so long. Chapter 1 was so long, but I'm very excited to be getting to this book because y'all, I bought this when it first came out. This was Oprah's selection in 2018, so that is as long as I've had this book, and it's just been sitting waiting for me to read it. If you look at the book, the cover is in pristine condition just because I have not touched it. It's just been sitting on the shelf waiting to be read. So I'm finally getting to this book. Finally made it out of chapter 25, which was a very long chapter. It was 25 pages, but I think I'm going to center this vlog around this book. So we'll see if I'm able to finish this one in this video. I'll have to probably like drag this one out though. Yeah, so this one is, it says a stunning epic love story. So already the book is very interesting. And looking at chapter 2, it looks like this is going to be told in several points of views. Right now, well, let me go back. If you don't know what this is about, loosely, because I'm kind of going, I like to go into my books sort of blind, although I do know what it's about, you know, a little bit. So this one follows Roy and Celestial. They've been married for a year when Roy, he gets accused of a crime and he is put away for several years. And I think in the midst of him being in prison, Celestial, either she's divorced him or she's moved on with her life, because I mean, you can't expect, even if you're married to the person, in my opinion, you can't expect someone to wait on you while you're serving a 25-year prison sentence. I don't think so. I know I couldn't do it. You know, I don't think that's fair. But let me read the sleeve here. Yeah. Newlywed Celestial and Roy are the embodiment of both the American dream and the New South. He is a young business executive and she is an artist on the brink of an exciting career. But as they settle into the routine of their life together, they are suddenly ripped apart by circumstances neither could have imagined. While visiting Roy's parents in their small Louisiana town, Roy is arrested and sentenced to 12 years in prison for a crime Celestial knows he didn't commit. I'm gonna stop there. Anyway, so I'm very, very eager to read this now. So this is my first Tayari Jones, actually. I know she's got a book coming out later this year. I'm not in a rush to buy it. The book will be there when I get around to it. I don't think I have any of her other books. I don't think so. So yeah, this will be the first and only book that I would have read about her by the time I finish the book. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing a few things in this video. I did have a viewer say that she likes when I incorporate my walking and stuff like that in my reading vlogs or my videos, like my reading videos. I think I will sprinkle in, you know, me exercising, walking, something light, right, in my reading vlogs, because, you know, I talk about reading and also lifestyle as well. So I don't think it's that cold outside, y'all. I think I'm just gonna bundle up. I am going to look for this book on audio and continue in chapter 2. Okay, hey y'all, so I am outside getting my 10K steps in. So I wanted to come and talk a little bit about chapter 1 since I have officially finished chapter 1. So chapter 1 is starting off with Roy, the husband's point of view, which I think is good because he's the one that's going to be sent away for a crime he did not commit. So he is reflecting on him and Celestial's marriage in the early days because they're pretty much newlyweds, right? And from what I can tell in chapter 1, it does not seem like Celestial is happy. Can't really pinpoint one specific thing, although she has caught him doing things that a married man should not be doing, but he's kind of like blown it off. And also he's talking about the last time his life was normal, right? He's reflecting on the last time his life was normal when they went to visit his parents' house, which Celestial does not get along with the mother, Olive, for some reason. I guess the mother thinks that Celestial is kind of bougie. I want to say kind of bougie. I don't know. But she does come from money. The parents are wealthy. But Celestial and Roy are successful in their own right too. But there's some discourse with Celestial and his family. And the way he's setting up the story and talking about their marriage, it doesn't seem like they're too happy, you know. And so we shall see how chapter 2 takes off, because like I said, he's setting this up for the last time things was normal for him when they went to visit his parents. Something is going to happen, and I'm going to find that out in chapter 2. And so yeah, so far so good. So far I wouldn't say that it's a page turner right now, but I can see it becoming a page turner. I'm very engaged in the story, which is a good thing. Anytime I can't get through chapter 1 is not a good thing. And so I am over the hump. The hump was long, 25 pages for one chapter, but the book is relatively short. It's like only 300 pages. And so I'm hoping, probably not though, that I can get through this within maybe 4 days or so. Yeah. So let's go ahead and finish the second leg of our walk. So I'm back home. I was able to get my 10K steps in, and I did pick up reading a little bit more of this. I'm still, however, in chapter 2 because the chapters are super long, but it's reading like really fast, I guess. I don't know. I'm listening. I listened to, you know, the majority of, or half of chapter 2, but I still have a lot to go. So chapter 2 is Celestial's point of view, and it did answer a few questions. In Celestial's point of view, she is just reflecting on what happened the last time her and Roy were together. They visited Roy's parents, like I said in chapter 1, from Roy's point of view, and they got in an argument about something that Roy revealed that he had not revealed to her. And so she was upset by that. And so Roy left, right, for a little bit so they could come back together, calm, and talk it out. And in the midst of Roy leaving, he does encounter a person, right? And during this encounter, me as a reader I was thinking, I wouldn't be doing that, Roy. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be doing that because I just don't trust people like that. And lo and behold, that was the night that he was accused of this crime. So let me read what's on the sleeve. So it says, though fiercely independent, Celestial finds herself unmoved or unmoored, taking comfort in Andre, her childhood friend and Roy's best man at her wedding. As Roy's time in prison passes, she is unable to hold on to the love that has her center. When after 5 years, Roy's conviction is suddenly overturned and he returns to Atlanta, ready to resume their life together, Celestial is faced with a soul-wrenching decision, whether to let go or to try to rebuild a marriage that has lost its underpinnings. Okay, like I didn't mention that Celestial has a friend. She has a friend. She has known him since they were infants, like 3 months old. I guess, I don't know where the connection is, but I think through their mothers. So Andre, his name is Andre. Andre actually introduced Celestial to Roy. That's how they met, but they have always just been platonic friends. They went to college together, and she ends up finding comfort, that's what the sleeve says, in Andre. And so the second part of Celestial's point of view, after Roy's committed to prison for 12 years, we have letters. We have letters going back and forth between Celestial and Roy. I would definitely say the writing is so beautiful. It didn't seem like they were in love, like in the first part of the book, like Roy's point of view, but they did love each other. You know, as with every relationship, there's always going to be ups and downs, and especially in a marriage, people say is work, okay? I am really, really, really enjoying the book so far. It's good. It's really good. I'm just mad at myself that I have waited so long to read this book. So I just read a part in the book where Roy is expressing regret of something that they decided to do before this incident, which sheds a whole nother light on how he's feeling right now. And so, yeah, he's kind of having some regrets, and yeah, that part is sad, y'all. That part is sad, but you know, it's nothing they can do about it at this point in the book, right? I know this is fiction, right? But it reads like a real story, y'all. I know there's nothing that they can do about it now. What is done, you know, but him being locked up and having all these thoughts about what they should have or could have done is not helping the situation either, right?
Man who came to speak at Spelman, who had been wrongfully imprisoned for decades.
I am back in my car. I'm out. I thought I was going to get my nails done. I'm not usually a nails girly. I only get them, well, this Christmas anyway, I decided to get tips, which I have not had fake nails in like, it's been a long time, probably like over 10 years or whatever. I just don't like nail salons in general, but I decided to do something different this season and got my nails done, and I have been enjoying having nails. They are holding up, but as you can see, they need to be refilled. And so I'm out here thinking I was going to, it's Sunday by the way, get them done. And apparently, because I'm not a nails girly, the salons are closed. If I can't find another place, then I'm just going to end up soaking these off tonight, and just hopefully my natural nails haven't been severely damaged. I can just do my own like gel manicure or whatever. So I'm back. I'm in the car. Got my nails done. They do look cute from a distance, but honestly, I am not happy really with like the quality of them. I feel like for $50, every nail should be the same shape, and they're not. So I will enjoy this while I have it. I might get them done one more time after this, but I can't see myself paying $50 for nails and they not be perfect. So I'm coming to give an update on An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. I am on page 82. I've been listening to a little bit of it on audio, but sometimes it's just not the same. And if I can read a physical book, I would like to do that, because there was this one part in here where Celestial was trying to explain something to Roy. And when I was listening to it, it totally went over my head. But then now I have the physical book. I actually went back and I read like maybe 3 or 4 pages over, and I completely understand what was happening now that I sat down and I'm reading with my eyes now. I wouldn't say that this is a page turner. However, I would say that the writing just flows beautifully. It flows beautifully. I'm definitely engaged in what's going on between the back and forth with Celestial and Roy, because so far, even though, I'm kind of like on Celestial's side, like, babe, you're in here for 12 years. What do you want me to do? On the other hand, I feel sorry for Roy because he's an innocent man, and for better or for worse, right? And these are worse times that they're dealing with. Like, so should she abandon him? Should she abandon him, or should she stick with him for 12 years? That is the question, and that is a hard, very hard question to answer. But anyway, enjoying the book. Can't wait to get to the finale of the book, where I stand with this. So I'm enjoying the book. The writing is good. It's really good. It definitely flows. He said they were listening from the back by the gate. I only heard my heartbeat and the ice in his tray. Headlights blinked like camera flashes over by the loading bay. Someone shouted, "You were magic through the dark." So I'm out here getting my 10,000 steps, and I wanted to come and do a update on American Marriage by Tayari Jones. So I have read at this point Roy's point of view, Celestial's point of view, and now Andre. I just finished his point of view. So right now I'm at 50% in the book, and the last clip I was talking about how I didn't think it was fair for people to think that Celestial should wait on Roy, right? But being that I've kind of read a little bit more about Celestial and Roy, now that Roy has been released, and he's expressing how he feels about Celestial ending the relationship, right? She's moved on. I still feel like it's not fair to ask someone to wait, but knowing that your husband is innocent, okay? He is innocent, okay, as charged. Being left like that really just, I don't know, it looks bad, right? So I just finished my 10K walk. I didn't quite make 10K right now, but by the end of the night, moving around and things like that, I'm almost there. I'm like 9,755. So I'll be at 10K later on tonight before I go to bed. Anyway, I want to give an update about this book and my thoughts about Roy and Celestial. I have to say that I am sympathizing with Roy more than I am Celestial. Although I feel like, it's unrealistic to expect someone to wait like a long time for someone to get out of jail. They are still married, right? And he was still fighting for his life, pretty much. He was still in appeals and things like that. He had a good lawyer, and it wasn't over, right? It was always a chance that he could get out. So I now feel that Celestial is selfish. I just feel like she's really selfish, and I don't know. I just really don't see that there was any love for him in the first place if it, she left that quick. And being that now she's with Andre, or she's found comfort in Andre, that's all I really think it is that Andre was there when she needed somebody. I don't really feel that she's really in love with Andre either. I don't know what it is with Celestial, but she comes off as kind of selfish, self-absorbed, and she's really just looking out for herself. That's what it just seems like. One part of the book, her dad makes this comment. He was like, "You had all your life to lay up with Roy. Now, if you're my age, you've heard your parents, your grandparents talk about laying up with someone, right?" And I feel that is true. She had all her life, because she's known him pretty much since they were infants, to fall in love with him or do something. Why now? Why now that she's married, right? And with Roy, she didn't even give Roy a chance, right? So yeah, that's just my thought about Celestial. I just feel like she's very selfish, you know, in the story, and I'm sympathizing more with Roy because he's free now. And now what? He has nothing to come back to. Finished reading An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. And y'all, I have so many thoughts about this book. This was just a very thought-provoking book. So just to recap about this, it follows Roy and Celestial. They are a young Gen X couple because it takes place in like the early 2000s, so they're around my age. Quintessential couple coming into adulthood, just graduated from HBCUs, and they're ready to start like their lives, right? Celestial, which is the wife, she comes from money, so she's no stranger to, you know, the better things in life, right? Roy, on the other hand, he comes from a very small town, you know, working class. I want to say they met at college, and then later on, as they graduated, they reconnected, and that's how they got together. Roy, he gets convicted, like I mentioned in the early part of the book, of a crime he did not commit, and we follow their journey of their American marriage. So I like the fact that this book touched on the incarceration, unlawful incarceration of Black men, and how it affects everything, like their family structure, their entire life. Now, I think this book is a good discussion piece because you could argue that the couple really, to me, didn't have anything much in common. And the overall message is that no matter, that I took from the book, at least, no matter what goes on in a marriage, right? It could be something tragic. Marriage has to have a foundation, a solid foundation. And being that they were only married for like a year and a half, and there really was not like enough of a foundation, a solid foundation to withstand something like this happening to their marriage, it was kind of doomed to failure, right? But then you could also question, you know, well, you know, if someone gets sentenced for 25, 12 years, even 5 years, you know, are they expected to wait? Is that fair? You know, that provokes a lot of thoughts about that. And initially I was like, no, it's not fair to the couple. However, being that they were only married for a year and a half, and the marriage was not, you know, like starting off was not a good marriage because of some things that was going on in the relationship. And, you know, Celestial, her character was kind of like whimsical, right? She was just going where the air blew, right? I really could not pinpoint any characteristics about her that I liked. She just seems very flighty, right? To me, was not a solid character. Roy, on the other hand, even though he was not perfect, he laid all his cards out on the table, and she knew exactly what she was getting into. When he came home from an early release, 5 years, he didn't get the 12 years, that is on the sleeve. Then he comes out with nothing, having to start all over again. And even though this book didn't go, you know, into specific systemic issues regarding mass incarceration of Black men, it showed how the consequences of that system can break down a Black man and his family, which was complicated because she didn't wait. She did not wait for him. That's on the sleeve. She did not wait for him, you know, because there was no foundation. There was no love, right? Because they were just newly married starting off. And I think really I wanted to say about this couple is that they were, I feel like they were just together for show, right? You know, you meet couples or people like this, right, who are together just for what the other can do for the other person. How Roy made her look, and her, on the other hand, him wanting to be with her because she was beautiful. She comes from, you know, a nice family with money and things like that. So that's pretty much how I felt like their getting together and their marriage was based on. It wasn't based on anything much. And so if a marriage is not based on anything much, of course it's not going to withstand a situation like this. I really love the way the letters were implemented in this book, like in the beginning, from Roy to Celestial. Once he was in jail, you know, you really got to know or got a sense of like the characters, the main characters. Celestial was very ambiguous, like I said, very flighty. She couldn't really land on one thing. She just, to me, seemed a little selfish and not self-aware. That's a perfect explanation of her, how she was depicted. She just was not a self-aware person. On the other hand, Roy knew who he was. You know, he knew he wasn't perfect. He laid it all out on the table, whether you like that or not. You know, some things I did not like about him, but in the end, even though he wasn't perfect, he was not a perfect husband when he was with Celestial, I had their sympathy for this man. I had sympathy for this man. And in the end, when he wanted to restart his life, the story just came full circle. And I like the way it ended, y'all. I really like the way this book ended. This is a really good book for the discussion, a book club. I really did love this book. I gave it a solid 4. This is a solid 4 read. I really enjoyed the book. It wasn't like a page turner for me because it did take me a while to read it. Not because it wasn't interesting, just because I have other hobbies, y'all. And I just, you know, I'm not going to sit there and sit on the couch and read the book all day when I got other things to do. But this was a good book. I do recommend that you read this. It took me a long time to get to this book, but I am glad I did. I can't wait to read another piece of Tayari's work. Just the language and how it was written and structured and put it together just absolutely flowed. I think this is a book you have to kind of like sit with for a while, right? Just to think about the two characters and where they ended up. And you could probably relate this book to some people that you already know, or maybe, you know, parts of about the book you can relate to yourself, right? Yeah, so that is it, y'all. That is the vlog for American Marriage. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've read this book, leave your thoughts down below. What did you think about this book? I would like to have a little discussion down below. Thanks for watching again. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care and be blessed.